now. So now we have Tyler Connolly from Theory of a Deadman. It's Two Dudes Reviews. I think that was the intro.
That was the intro? Nice.
Tyler, welcome to the program, man.
Thanks for having me. It worked.
Yes, it does. And congratulations on all the success, by the way. You've got a beautiful house there. Now, how long you been living in this palace?
I've been here about 6 years.
Okay.
And where is it?
I live in Burbank. I'm about 5 miles from all the fire.
Okay. All right.
Wow.
Don't get too ahead on your questions.
Yeah, that was
okay.
the question.
Oh.
We're setting this up as 10 questions with Tyler Connolly.
Love
Wow.
it.
Yeah. All right. And Brian threw some special effects in there or something like that. Hey, okay, Tyler, I know our time is limited here. Wake-up call. It's a really pronounced departure in sound from your prior releases. You know, RX, arguably the biggest song you guys have ever released. I mean, it's been like #1 nationally for how many weeks now? 4, 6, something like that?
It's 6, yeah.
Okay.
6.
And still it's at #2. It's like the song that won't go away. Congratulations on that. But tell me, what was the reasoning for kind of going the pop route? Because there's not a lot of guitars on this record.
Yeah, you know what? We've been writing guitar songs for so long. I mean, we started kind of a more darker riff rock, almost southern rock band. We had a little bit of country kind of to us. A lot of every song has slide guitar on it. We love that. But for some reason, this record, I just felt tapped on the guitar side. I felt like every riff was written, and it was kind of like I don't know what to do. So I kind of switched to the piano. When I switched to the piano, I kind of opened up this new world creatively for me, and so it just kind of naturally went that way. It wasn't a conscious thing where we were like over guitar. We didn't really sit around and think about the songs; they just kind of came out.
And you guys work with like a pop producer on this record, right? A guy who's really known for working more in like top 40 and pop music instead of going, the old rock route, huh?
Yeah, it was our guy's choice. He said you should check out this guy named Martin Tereffi. He's a Swedish guy. He wears like sweater vests, and I'm like, I like him already. And I checked out some of the stuff he's done. He's done some massive stuff. He did the Hazel Sister San Francisco band. What are they called again?
Sister Hazel?
No. Drops of Jupiter.
Oh, Train.
He's done a lot of big stuff. More acoustic rock. He's done a lot of rock stuff, but it's more so terrible with the name. The guy James Blunt.
Okay.
James Morrison. Stuff like that. So more acoustic, a lot more of a vibe. So when we went in to do it with him, everything was vibe. He wanted us in the same room. He just wanted to push record and just let us play. And not a lot of overdubbing, and it was a great experience.
Dynamite. Question number 2 comes from Andy Man here. What
and it kind of pings off of what you just said. I mean, you when I listened to your older stuff, you said country influence, country sound. So when can we expect a country album from you?
Never.
They're not going to become Kid Rock, man.
Oh.
We're staying.
Our manager asked me that one day. I sometimes write country songs for fun, just the songwriting side, and he heard some of them. He's like, man, why don't you just sing it yourself? Just put out a country record. I'm like, well, because I'm not a country singer. I can't fake that. So, that didn't last very long. No, I would never do something like that. Yeah.
All right.
No worries.
Question number 3, back to RX. Tell us about the history, maybe a personal history of prescription drug abuse. I mean, how close to home does this hit, or were you just trying to raise awareness? And part 2 of that question is prescription drug abuse. Is it a U.S. epidemic, or is it more of a worldwide phenomenon?
It's definitely. I'll do part 2 first.
Okay.
It's definitely, I find, to be more of an American thing. I think it's something that stemmed from the government, lobbyists lobbying. I think it's a lot of these medical companies that are making billions of dollars, and the government's getting some cashola and allowing these prescription pills to be put in people's hands, and they pay doctors to promote them, just like you would get Cialis. They were like, you should try. So it's the same kind of thing, It's like, oh, doctor, haven't been feeling well lately. I just can't get out of bed. Oh, really? Oh, well, here, have these pills that this company just gave me a huge box of. So it seems to be I've talked to people that live in Europe, and I grew up in Canada, and it was never really a big issue there. I didn't know anybody that took Xanax or any kind of anxiety pills until I moved down here. So that's kind of where I got the idea for the song. Part one is just living. I've been living here about a decade and started seeing friends and people I know down here just kind of popping pills like they're Advil. And I'm just kind of like, it never kind of happened to me. But it's sad. I saw some sad stuff happen to someone I know, and his wife, she went to sleep and never woke up. She took a mixture of pills and she died in her sleep, and it was so sad. I'm like, man, this is becoming an epidemic. And then wrote the song, and then it kind of came out right when the government was kind of calling a state of emergency and finally talking about it. It's this weird thing that people don't talk about, right? Kind of sweeping under the rug, but finally.
Sure.
And you take a look at guys like, the late, great Chris Cornell and, certainly Chester Bennington from Lincoln Park.
Sure.
And, some of the drug issues that they had in their past. We just had a guy here locally. Andy and I live in Reno, Nevada. This guy, he was a doctor, prescribed somewhere in the neighborhood of like 23,000 Vicodin or opiate pills over the span of a 3-year period. And he got 10 years in prison when he got busted. The guy who was schlepping the pills, I think, only got 4 or 5
2 years.
2 years.
2 years, and he's already served 20 months. He's out in 4.
Unbelievable.
Yep.
And people died from that stuff.
Right. And yeah, that's the
I was
that's the justice system.
I mean, I'm a huge Stone Temple Pilots fan. So when Scott Weiland died on the tour bus, it just was kind of a huge thing for me. I was like, man, oh man, and then it just kept going. Chris Cornell, same thing. He was like an idol. I could never sing like Chris Cornell, but it's sad when you see it happening around you, bands you've played shows with and listened to growing up, and it gets scary. You start thinking to yourself, well, could this be me? I don't know. So I'm glad we got to write the song. I'm glad that people love it. I'm glad that people are talking about it. So it's a good thing.
Kind of on the same line as RX, but not a question about the song. But something I was thinking about when I was listening to not only this album, but kind of some of your older stuff too, to compare, because when I heard it, I was like, it sounds really pop to me. And then I had to go back and listen to some of your older stuff to go, oh, well, it is real pop. And we've talked about that. But whistling isn't common in a whole lot of music, and you seem to be doing a bit of it. Who does it, and what's your inspiration for it? Is it all you?
Yeah, I whistle. It's funny because we were out for dinner in New York with some label people, and they're talking about our show, and our A&R guy was like, well, that's on tape, right? You're not really whistling that. I'm like, no, I'm whistling that every night. He's like, no, that's on tape. I'm like, I'm not. Why would I? It's like, no, there's definitely nights where I have to, it's really dry and I can't get a whistle out. But, yeah, it's me. You know what? I mean, I went and saw Guns N' Roses to their last show at the Forum here in L.A. And I would say that's a big inspiration. Axl Rose. I've been saying lately that people in rock bands have not been using enough instrumentation lately. And we've been playing a lot of piano on this record. There's some whistling. And people kind of instantly go to the pop thing, and I go, well, Axl Rose, I wouldn't say he's a pop guy, but he did some whistling, and he did some piano, and I think that's pretty freaking cool. And it was pretty badass. I watched the show and watched him whistle, so that was pretty cool.
Cool. Hey, we've done this a few times with a number of bands, and especially kind of bands nowhere near the success of you, but they write hundreds of songs quite often. And comb through these songs to get 12 good ones for an album. And I don't know if it's the same for you, but I kind of just was listening, and I was listening to Wicked Game. And then, of course, Shape of My Heart is a great song by Sting that you guys covered. And it got me thinking, what's the motivation for covering songs?
I don't know. I think boredom. I think we had a few months off. We were between records, and I just was like, I'm going to maybe record some covers. It's not something we usually do. The Wicked Game was the first time we've ever put a cover on one of our records, and we actually honestly didn't want to. Our label was kind of like, hey, this is a great version that you did of it. We really would like you guys to put it on there. So we're kind of like, all right. But the covers thing I think is just purely for fun. I don't write hundreds of songs. I literally just write pretty much the songs necessary for the record, and then that's it. I mean, I think this record we maybe wrote 15, 16, and I think there was maybe a few that just didn't even track. We were like, nah, forget it. But yeah, the covers is fun. I think that you'll hear a song, like I'm sure you guys have favorite songs, and you're like, man, I should just pick up the guitar and figure out how to do it. So it's kind of, yeah.
All right, I kind of lost count. I think that was maybe question number 7 or something like that. Anyways,
6 or 7.
You're from Canada originally, British Columbia, yeah?
Yeah.
And so what's your favorite Canadian rock band of all time? Maybe we can go old school here, and we'll have some some kinship.
All time? I don't know, man. You know what? I mean, Gord Downey just passed away of brain cancer. He's the singer of Tragically Hip. You know that band, the Tragically Hip?
Of course, yeah.
They're probably, I mean, I listened to a lot of their old stuff, and I had friends that was their favorite band of all time. But I would say that's probably the best Canadian band of all time, Tragically Hip, because anytime you put on the Tragically Hip, it would just be, you'd be drinking Canadian beer, and you'd be camping somewhere, and you'd be driving in a pickup truck. It just kind of epitomized that feeling.
Okay, best Canadian beer.
Kokanee.
What's that?
Kokanee.
Kokanee. Can we get Kokanee down
I
here?
don't think so. I've never
Son
heard
of a
it.
gun.
It's hard to find, man. It's only in the West Coast, I think. It's the best. Molson Canadian is terrible.
I grew up on the Mickey's Big Mouth.
Oh yeah.
Or the Mickey's 40 ounce. And man, as at 18 years old, I shouldn't admit this, but growing up in Texas, it was one Mickey's 40 ounce. Man, you'd be set for the evening, man. It was on fire. It was going on. Okay, how about your favorite American rock band of all time? Now you've been here in the States for a decade.
That's another question.
No, it's all part of the same favorite rock band.
Whatever.
American, that's got to be the Doors.
Nice, good choice.
My favorite bands of all time. It's English, but I would say the Doors. I listened to a lot of the Doors when I was a kid, and another idol of mine who's dead is Jim Morrison. So,
wow. Well, that kind of feeds right into my question. Or one of the questions that I wrote was, who's the best band we're not listening to now? Not making it. They're not making it, but you love listening to them.
Who's the best band right now? Well, we just did a tour with 2 awesome bands. You might have heard of one of them. Royal Republic from Sweden. You ever heard of those guys?
Baby. Yeah, hell yeah. Love those guys.
Oh, they're so good. And then Aaron Jones. Have you heard of him?
No. Write that down. Aaron Jones. How do you spell that? Aaron? Or it's like Aaron?
It's Aaron, but it's Aaron. He's from Seattle, and he's in a side project with, I think, a couple guys from Pearl Jam. And he's just this amazing singer and guitar player. He is like I don't want to say this because I'm going to say it anyways, but he's like the new Jimi Hendrix, but I'm sure he don't tell him that because, no one wants to be the next somebody. But yeah, he is, and his band is so good. It's almost like it's gone back to old school where it's a 3-piece, amazing bass player, amazing guitar player, drummer, and they just I don't know. It's kind of where rock needs to go. So check him out, Aaron Jones.
Yeah. I've got 2 quick favors to ask you. Number one is, and I should have asked this earlier, is it possible to kill the light that's it's like you have like a sword coming right down over your nose right now? I don't know. And number 2, any chance we get just a brief tour of the casa there? Oh, he's unscrewing the light, I think.
I think it's on a switch.
The switch in the ceiling. Man, your house is built weird, dude.
I just unscrewed it from the ceiling.
And can you show us the piano room?
Yeah, well, the internet doesn't seem to work in there. I went in there and it just instantly turned up.
Okay.
All right.
The house is so old that it has whatchamacallit walls. What are they called?
Plaster.
It's plaster and internet. I had the internet guys come over here and I'm like, why does my internet work if I go in this one room? They're like, plaster walls. They don't go through that. It's like 'cause it's like cement. So the internet in my house has been sketchy. I can walk you outside. We'll see if the internet works out there.
Cool. All right, let's check it out. See, you don't get this on every single YouTube video. And by the way, again, I want to say thank you, Tyler. I did a little bit of research. You haven't done a whole lot of interviews, especially not this style, around the new Wake Up Call album, have you?
There's my pool.
Oh, nice.
Not really. I have a little, little barbecue party area. I've covered up my couches, though. We have the huge, the Santa Ana winds here, so everything is just like a disaster here.
I was going to say, it looks pretty clear in the skies. I was going to ask if the fires have affected you where you're at there.
Yeah, they're over that way. You don't see them until the night. At nighttime, the whole horizon is just orange. It looks like it's the end of the world. It's really like it looks. It's really scary, and I try to film it, but it looks like it doesn't work. Then I have to first my studio.
Okay.
So from Canada, I'm going to ask my question now because there you are, and you're out in Southern California. You said you've been there about a decade. What's the major draw? What was the major reason going from Canada to California?
I was married, and she wanted to move down here, and I had to go. I had to go. And then we got divorced, and I just stayed here because I love it, and I golf. And it's just the weather here is 70. It's like 75 degrees out today, and so So this is I got a bunch of guitars and stuff in here, and I don't know if you can't really see.
We can't see it.
Can't see anything. There's a bunch of amps everywhere.
Very
so
cool.
that's about it. But I recorded some stuff on the new record in the studio, and then there's a that goes into like the whatever room, live room. You can do vocals or whatever you want to do in there.
I was going to say the vocal shower because we always sound better when we're singing in the shower, right?
Yeah, always.
And you always sound better when you're naked too.
Of course.
I would.
It's an acoustic thing, I'm sure.
Okay, listen.
All right.
I know all you guys have a great sense of humor, but with the time constraints of this interview, you have other stuff going on, and only having 10 questions to ask, I have to keep my last question very, very serious here. The question is, Tyler, who would win in a knife fight, Canadian Bacon, American Bacon, or Kevin Bacon?
In a knife fight?
Yeah.
Kevin Bacon. Kevin Bacon, 100%. Man, I love Kevin Bacon, and he could definitely win in any knife fight.
And I don't get Canadian bacon. It's not even really bacon. It's
not bacon. It's ham.
Goddamn ham. Pisses me off every time I get Canadian bacon. I'm like, no, I want the fatty, salty stuff.
Yeah, I like Canadian bacon kind of, but come on, give me the real bacon anytime. What is the real bacon? Is that that's the world minus Canada bacon? What do they call it?
Well, it's pork belly that's cured and smoked.
You're taking the serious route.
I know.
Hey,
absolutely.
Tyler Connolly from Theory of a Deadman. Again, thank you so much for taking the time out today. Congratulations. New album is called Wake Up Call. It's available right now, and it wraps up with the aforementioned Wicked game. And I have to say, even though you guys did, had some aversions to put it on the record, when I heard that song for the first time, when I listen to a cover song, I think one of two things. Either did they do the song justice as it was when I first heard the song, or have they completely changed it and made it their own where it resembles the original song, but it's cool and different enough, and you guys ace that one, man. So congratulations on that. Really nice job.
That was kind of the whole point. We kind of told our label that, like, well, if we're going to do it, we're not going to have these screeching guitar solos and kind of make it into like a rock single. We were going to try to do something completely different. So yeah, we thought we did a good job. I really hope people like it.
It works.
Like the song.
Well, Theory of a Deadman,
Thanks.
by the way, for folks watching this video here in the Reno proper area, you guys are going to be up in South Lake Tahoe in February.
Oh, nice.
I think we're breaking that news right now on Two Dudes Reviews, so can't wait to see you here, man. It's going to be fun to see you in the flesh and maybe hang out and have a couple of Canadian beers or shoot some tequila.
Kokanee. Yeah, how far is that from you guys? Not half an hour? Or
Yeah, about that.
About an hour.
about an hour?
Depends on what side of town you live on, really.
Sure.
Okay. Yeah, that's great. We will. I don't know what date that is, but I think the dates go out on Monday. So I think that's in February.
Yes, if
I don't-
memory serves me correctly, February 17th, I believe it's either a Tuesday or Wednesday, which sucks for people like me who have to wake up at 3:30 in the morning, but I will take the bullet to come and see the show, man.
Oh, it's going to be great. Hope to see you guys. That'd be awesome.
Thanks, Tyler.
Right on, brother. We'll catch up soon. Thanks so much for doing this.